Hello. So this will probably be a short one. We're trying out a new way to record the podcast. Because I don't know. I got it in my head that I wanted to make this simpler.
No, hang on. Let's pull the curtain back, Jamie. It makes things easier on you, and you're the one who puts all the work into the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm all for making things easier on you. Yeah. Now, what I'm hoping is happening is that the echo is back again, and I sound like God.
I don't fucking know. I'm also monitoring our the desktop audio on the mixer, and I don't hear anything. It, like when I'm speaking, it doesn't say it, like the bars don't go up, but when you're speaking, the bars go up. So we'll see. This could be like episode 102 could be bullshit. We'll find out. I'll find out.
Oh my God, it'll be great, Jamie. It'll be like Garfield minus Garfield, where I'll just be talking to myself. Like you'll be there. Back, it'll just be me.
Yeah, your mic is
just talking to my friend.
Your mic is hot as fuck too. Can you turn?
I know. Here. What do you need me to do? You need me to turn?
Yeah, turn your input down a little bit. Just a scotch, just a little.
They done fucked with everything. You turn the gain all the way up. You can't be turning the gain all the way up.
Oh, that sounds better.
Is that a little better?
I think that's a little better.
How about that? Is that a little better?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I think so. We'll find out. I've got a plugin that'll equalize us.
Podcast listeners, no. You know whose fault this is, Jamie? This is the fucking Super Art Fight D&D assholes. That's who it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Because my better half needed to borrow my microphone, and then they decided to have a fucking AV club and group decide how the microphone should be set, and decided that the way that they should do it is turn it to multi-directional for some fucking reason, and then turn the gain all the way up.
No, why would you do that? Nicola's...
Because you don't have your fucking tech guy there anymore because we quit. Sports fans, if you have a microphone with multiple patterns, and you're the only person using it, you don't need the multi-directional one unless you want to. You don't need the multi-directional. Kids, no. Look, it's not hard. Let The Rock teach you how to use a microphone. You don't go all the way out here and then shout, because that's terrible microphone form. So you bring the microphone to you, and when you really want to get sensual, you bring the tone down. And you get way up in that motherfucker. I mean, way down in it. Were you
on the cast as well, or was it just just her?
No.
Then why would they need the multi-directional?
This was because I don't know. If I had to take a guess, this was decision by committee. They flipped a bunch of switches and went,
"Oh my God,
that kind of works," and then moved on.
See,
the problem is Dan's part of this.
That's what I'm gonna yell at his ass later, because he fucking knows better.
Somebody needs to. Someone needs to.
He should fucking well know better, because he's got all this.
Who turns the Yeti's gain all the way up?
No, that's
I get the
false.
idea.
That's false.
That my better half is not as loud as I am. I get where I am in the relationship. I understand who I am.
Yeah.
You want to turn that thing up to 50%? No problem, Jamie. I'm chilling at a hot 24%. A hot 24.
Oh my God. I just also realized that my video is I don't care. Well, I'll figure this out later. I'll fuck with this later. I'm so confused.
I would say your video looks fine, even if the image is flipped or whatever it is. I don't think anyone really cared. I need to get one of those fancy ring lights, so this way I look half as good as you. I won't, but at least I'll be lit as well as you. That's the important thing.
So here's the thing about my lighting. So a lot of people have the ring lights because it gives you even light, even toner all around. You'll notice that one side of my face is more lit than the other side of my face. I did not go with a ring light. I went with an LED panel that's shooting down, and then I got a scrim, and a scrim is just a giant piece of fabric that diffuses the light, and I have the scrim like it's just off camera. So
it's dramatic is what it is.
Yeah, so it takes the light and it expands the panel, so it makes it look brighter, and it gets the lighter closer. So it's just, I was like, I'm not gonna look like everyone else. Fuck the ring light look. I'm gonna get like a nice scrim. And
this is what I'm saying. I need to have the nice look. Like that's what I like, because I don't have that, Jamie. I don't have that look. That's not what you boys currently rocking right now, and it makes me a little on the sad side. Like, I'm gotta be honest with you.
I think
I gotta
light,
work this out, because you got that weird like 2020 interview lighting where like it's real stark from one side.
Yeah.
Like if you shifted in your chair and you were like,
oh wait,
and I knew that's when the NCAA was crooked.
So here's what it looked like, and then if I turn to the side, this is the scrim. It just looks like
nothing but light.
Yeah, it just looks like a big panel. Yeah. So a scrim is a nice way to make a small light look like a bigger light. So this light looks huge, but it's not that big.
I gotcha. Okay.
So.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is, at minimum, I need a ring light. I need to look like every other YouTuber.
Yeah, a ring light is a good place to start. And then if you want to, there are more panels that I'm looking at. I'm just, it's terrible. But
Jamie, you got to do more reaction videos. Like, it's the only way we're gonna get any views on this channel, because I ain't bringing in the numbers.
Yeah. Well, the other reason why I wanted to go with Discord, besides me being lazy, is that the audio quality is a little bit better than Zoom. Hopefully that'll make a difference production wise. I don't think anyone listening to the podcast or watching the podcast is going to notice a fucking difference, other than like I'm on the other side of the fucking screen.
I bet that they will in the first couple minutes of this episode, because apparently I was hotter than hot.
Yeah, but I'm very surprised. Dan should know better. He should not have allowed that to happen.
Should.
And I bet Nicole sounded like a Yeti, like.
I have no idea. Yeah, because she's not exactly quiet.
No.
So like, I don't understand if like something was turned way the fuck down.
Were they going for ASMR? Like, did they need to hear Nicole roll the die or some shit?
Full disclosure, being the bad boyfriend that I am, I don't watch her play D&D. I also don't watch my friends play D&D. I'm sure they're having a great time. That's for them. That's for D&D nerds. Y'all have a great time. Much like a lot of other things in the world. I'm glad you guys are doing it. And Jamie, I'd be interested in playing, because I learned that apparently, and I'm super wrong about this, and I'm sure a bunch of people are going to correct me if anyone bothers to give a shit. Apparently there's a new rule where if you die, you can come back as a Muppet. Same character, but now you're a Muppet. Right. And it makes me wonder, like, and I heard that there's a bunch of rules, but fuck that noise. I want to just be able to play fast and loose with Muppet logic.
Yeah.
Because if I died and then came back as me, but the Great Gonzo, and I just had the ability to be like, hey, we need you to get over onto that ledge over there. I'll be like, I need a chicken and a cannonball. Like, I need a chicken and a cannon. I'm going to do this for my bride, Camilla. Chicken under the arm, climb into the cannon, shoot myself, clean across the thing, roll for initiative, land that shit. Like,
roll for initiative.
Right, and then tie a Muppet style rope to my foot and just launch me. Like, I want that. Like, the other thing that I learned apparently is when you're a wizard, there's a spell that you have where you can summon a horse anywhere.
Of course.
And you can do this like a couple times a day, but there's a limit to it. Like, you get 7 horses a day. And I want to just be able to play with the rule that, like, and apparently you have to be really advanced to do this. I want to be able to like challenge some DM, be like, okay, so if I do something ridiculous, roll something ridiculous, survive something or whatever it is, can I get the horsepower right now? And the way I think I'm going to talk them into this is that I have a challenge that I think I could solve any problem by summoning on a horse. Give me a problem, Jamie. I'm gonna solve it by summoning a horse.
Okay.
Temple of Doom booby traps.
Yeah.
Throw a horse in there.
Texas has no power and they're freezing to death.
Okay, so I'm gonna need multiple. Actually, no, hang on. I can do this the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna set up not a wagon wheel, but some sort of like sideways
a generator.
Like,
yes,
right, so a generator. Yep, horsepower.
Literal horsepower.
Because if I can summon 7 of them a day, I'll do 7 right off the gate. Congratulations. Actually, no, scratch that. 6 of them. I need my emergency horse because you never know when you need that emergency horse.
Yeah, that's true. I love it.
Like this is what I'm saying. Like, hey, there's a giant dragon up there. I summon a horse 40 feet above his head.
Clonk.
And you just watch that thing fall and just El Kabong him. Like, just, Brandon, what are you doing? Summoning glue. High speed glue.
That's that gorilla, like horse sky gorilla glue, and he'll just stick on the horse.
That's what I'm saying. Right, yeah.
Dragon hair, and he can't get it out.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, I need to jump out of a window. I need something to break my fall. Horse.
Yeah. So yes, get a light. I actually
cool. All right.
I think I have a ring light. I someday when when it's not deadly to drive outside, I can send you the ring light. But like I've got one that I'm not using because I'm using this.
Oh, you know what? We were talking about doing for Mania, having you bring up Dan Dan noodles or whatever it is. Maybe you throw the ring light in the bag.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should remember.
You do a little ding dong dash.
Yeah. Bing. Ring light.
Bam.
Bam. I guess we're still talking about tech because so I'm using a new lens.
Okay.
Which is an actual it's an old lens. It's an old Nikkor manual lens because I got a speed booster for my Micro Four Thirds camera. So normally when you have a lens, you stick it on the Micro Four Thirds, it's 2 times crop. So like if you're using a 25 millimeter lens, it's a 50 millimeter lens. If you're using like a 16 millimeter lens, it's like a 32-ish or 35, whatever.
There you go. We can math. We can math here.
I can't math. So the speed booster takes the focal length and decreases the crop. So instead of a 2 times crop, it's a 1.5 times crop. So it's more like an APS-C. So before I had a 18 millimeter lens on here, which gives you like 35, 36 millimeter equivalent. I have a Nikkor 24 millimeter lens, but at 1.2 times crop, it's around 36. So it's the same. So
you're still getting around a 35 millimeter lens, around a standard style lens.
Yeah, standard style.
Okay.
But I'm using an ancient Nikon piece of glass. Hazel, close the door. Close the door.
Hello to your daughter.
It's a good thing the camera's up here because Hazel doesn't wear any clothes when she goes to sleep. So this turns into a very different kind of show.
Yeah, we got to remember to never go live.
Yeah, we're never going live. But yeah, so now I'm using ancient glass. I don't think you can tell the difference, but I like the way this particular lens renders colors. Just I don't know. I like it.
Hang on a second. Wait. Time out. Not camera gear. Like full on Missy Elliott, like stand up, flip it, and reverse it. Wasn't the whole point of us doing this so that you didn't have to edit in the bump intro?
Yeah.
And we haven't actually sat and watched it.
Oh, so I've got the intros loaded up in OBS. So when it comes time to hit the intro, I'll just play the intro and then we just wait. And then when the intro is done, we'll start up again and all that kind of stuff.
Right. That's what I mean, though, is we haven't sat here and done that.
No, because this is the cold opening part.
We're still in the opening.
We're still in the opening.
Okay.
Because
still in the opening.
Because I wanted to mention that the Olympus, whoever has taken over Olympus, OMD Solutions or whatever, they are planning to do new versions of their high-end camera. So like the OMD EM1, I think the current
just above what I own.
Yeah, so you have the EM10.
I have the EM10 II.
You have the EM10 II. The EM1 is like their flagship line. The EM1 MX is like their big dumpy. it's this huge behemoth thing. They're planning on doing another body at some point this year, like from the high end. So
right, okay, so is the goal for them just to be like a top tier elitist ass sort of thing? Is that the idea?
I am not sure, but because it's unclear because they keep saying shit, but nothing has actually come out. But it sounds like they're gonna go toward the higher end of the market. But they still released a EM10 Mark III last year, which was a big deal.
I mean,
so like I think they're going high end, low end, and I think the EM5. I think the EM5 is on its last legs, so they might just go.
Okay.
They might have.
Gotcha. So it's either like slum it like me, or fucking throw out your like. I don't have Leica money, but I got some money.
I got OMD money.
Okay.
But your camera company is not dead. They have also mentioned.
Right, but are they continuing with Micro Four Thirds?
Yeah, they're sticking with Micro Four Thirds. Olympus is sticking with Micro Four Thirds, and they've said that they're going to be releasing more lenses this year.
Okay.
The last one they had was like a 100 to 400, which is like a 2 to 8, which is a monster zoom.
Yeah.
And
I forget which one was the one that I was looking for, but I just remember the price tag being somewhere around 1,300 new. I think at best I found them used for like $9.
I have a Panasonic version of the one that you wanted. Next time I see you, I'll bring over the ring light and I'll bring over that lens. So like you can play with it.
I was gonna say, don't go wasting your time by handing that to me. I have not shot a damn thing in, honestly, since probably the pandemic. I think that was the last time because we took the cameras out for my birthday right before lockdown. And then I haven't touched that stuff. Like, no, that's not true. I tried to set it up when we were doing the podcast forever ago. Maybe that was like May-ish or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah. I am interested. So the OMD EM1 Mark II. So the Mark III is the high end right now. The Mark II, the one just before that, has most of the capabilities of the Mark III. And what the Mark II gets you is a autofocus that tracks really well. Like, this is a manual lens, so I don't know if I'm in focus right now. I think it's pretty soft.
You are.
Okay.
You look good as far as I can tell.
If I'm here, I'm out. If I'm here, I'm out. But like, so that camera will track, which is nice. So you could set it and forget it. But it also does the thing where like if you stick up something towards the sensor, it'll focus in on that, and then you pull it down, it'll regain focus.
So you could do product reviews.
So you could do product reviews and shit like that.
Yeah.
And since it's not the top line of the Olympus ones, the prices are sort of reasonable. So instead of like a
what does that mean, really?
Like a $600,
like in real numbers,
like a $600 camera instead of a $1,200 camera.
All right. I mean, considering I paid like $5 something for mine, that's relatively reasonable.
And if they come out with another flagship one this year, it means that the EM1 Mark IIs might start going down again. So I'm gonna keep an eye out on things, and if it hits like 4, I might be like, hey Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, what?
Hey, Brandon. You can upgrade your camera. You can upgrade your camera.
Why? What? With the $400 I'm not planning to spend on this?
Well, no.
Why?
You could sell back your body, and it'll get it down to maybe like $350.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know how you spend $500, so they'll give you $50 back. Like.
Yeah,
thanks.
Great depreciation. But yeah, so just to let you know, Micro Four Thirds is not quite dead.
Okay.
It's on its last-ish legs, but it's not.
Gotcha.
It's not dead. Like, OMD is trying, and there are a bunch of companies that have come out with video-focused cameras that all use the Micro Four Thirds line, because apparently smaller sensor size means bigger pixels, and bigger pixels is better for filming. I guess I don't know. Some smart motherfucker is gonna have to make that make sense to me. All right, so
Johnny.
Now we pause. I'm gonna hit this. The intro is gonna play. You're not gonna hear anything.
And then when I come back, intro time. All right. And we're back. Brandon Chalmers, hit me with the real intro.
God damn! Taking it from the top, one and all, welcome as the sun crests over the beautiful, expansive shores that are the fucking Do It Cast, part of the Hard Noc Media podcasting network. Now, I know what you're thinking, Brandon. Those are strong words, but what does Hard Noc Media mean? It means NOC, goddammit, as in Nerds of Color. There are multiple podcasts on the network. We just happen to be the chuckle fucks in front of you. But there's far better podcasts with people with proper opinions who research things and won't just pop off at the mouth, and definitely, and I mean definitely, would never say a nary word about a one Eddie Vedder.
Oh man, you can definitely tell we have an audience of one that we care about.
Look, man, if I've learned anything from years of doing art fight shows that, near as I can tell, were a lot of fun for the audience, ignore everyone in the audience. Yep. Do a show for the people up on stage. Everyone else will come along, and if they don't, fuck them. I had a great time.
Nice.
So my job is to keep the boss happy, Jamie. That's how we keep the lights on.
So for the past couple weeks, we've been teasing that we actually read emails, which has not been true because I don't have access to it easily. But I'm on a PC now, so my Crapbook 2015 is over here. So I have the email up on this computer while we're casting on this computer, so I can actually read the email. So we're going to start with the email today. It comes from our one fan who is not our boss, Vincent, and he writes, just finished episode 94, and as always, it was a good one. 94, Jesus Christ.
Thanks.
But Brandon.
Yeah, Jamie, 94?
94.
Okay.
But Brandon, the Honda E was so much on my radar, but now with your microtransaction idea, I have doubts. Damn it. I really hope you are wrong. Speaking of EVs, because remember we were talking about how like you can upgrade downward.
Well, yeah, because I was concerned about, because BMW and Audi and some of the top tier manufacturers have been talking about a subscription-based service for some of their platforms, and Tesla's been kind of pioneering this thought process. Now, to my understanding, Tesla hasn't followed through with it, but also, given the build quality of a Tesla, I'd never buy one.
Right.
For the record, I am still very, very in on the Honda E. So I'm curious about it. Like, I assume that the future of vehicles is electric. The thing I'm more concerned about now, and I'm pretty sure I brought it up when we were talking about this before, is how the fuck does the average person charge their car?
Right.
Like, there has to be some sort of practicality sense where, like, you have a login or a PIN or something like that, and just every parking spot is marked, and every one of them has a plug, and that plug has a lock on it, and you're able to plug your vehicle in and lock it with a passcode, and then that's it. Because otherwise, like, and it's just connected to a credit card account or whatever it is, and it just trickle charges overnight or what have you. Because otherwise, every asshole I know would walk by every EV in downtown Baltimore when they're drunk and unplug every fucking one of them as they walk down the street.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So speaking of EVs, is there another one besides the Honda E that you like? And do you think the U.S. will embark in this new trend of electric vehicles? What do you think it would take to do so?
Have a nice holiday season. Take care, Vincent.
All right, so this is pre-holiday stuff. I like this.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, I think really it's what I'm talking about. It's the practical charging thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple things that I think you have to get over. I think you have to be able to create some sort of secondary market. I think you have to be able, like, just a used market for vehicles, because if the pandemic has taught car buyers anything and car sellers anything, is that the second the pandemic hit, everyone tightened their belts, and that means a bunch of people got out of their vehicles and into something used and practical.
Right.
And in turn, the used car market fucking shot through the roof. Vehicles went up the better part of 40% in value, depending on what they were, in weeks based on availability. The same thing was true, weirdly, of RVs and campers, because everybody suddenly realized that, like, hey, I might lose my place, or maybe it's time to break my lease. And suddenly everybody just jumped into that van life because they started to work remote and they were like, fuck it, I want out of the city. So it's weird how people operate, but I think on a practicality stance, there's a couple things we need to do. One, you have to make EVs more financially viable for your average consumer. And that means somebody who is genuinely making about money at the poverty line. And we don't have new vehicles on the market to do that. I think the lowest priced new car in the US is $12,000. Hang on, let me take a look at this, because I was checking out a comparable thing to this. Cheapest new car in US. Okay. Googling. Yada. You can buy the 2021 Chevrolet Spark, which is a city car. It is a rather small vehicle, for the starting price of $14,395.
Okay.
Now, assuming someone has relatively good credit, they're able to purchase it. The insurance is relatively cheap. And I say this by comparison, and I'm using my numbers based on the fact that I just purchased a used vehicle at $14,500. I got a warranty with it, what have you. Now, with my warranty that I purchased along with it, my car payment is just under $300 a month. Now, let's assume that the warranty is included in this. You're going to pay taxes and tags and yada, 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 yada. Let's assume a nice round number of $250 a month for a vehicle, right? I don't know many people right now who have $250 a month to spend on a vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people out there who have regular gas vehicles that they have paid off. They were gifted by family members or friends, or they just paid them off over time. And if they had to get a new one, man, their life would become incredibly difficult. And also, we're talking about, this is a city car, an incredibly small hatchback with no trunk space.
Right.
To really speak of. Like, I think it's smaller than the Nissan Versa that I rented in between my vehicles, and I was able to fit two large adults, a kid, and $300 in groceries into that vehicle, but just barely. If I had two kids, like if I was a family and I needed to do this, and let's assume I was at the national poverty line of, let's say, making $35,000 a year, and I needed to pay rent on top of everything else like that, this car isn't going to happen for me.
Yeah.
It's not. Like, I'm going to buy an old used, Chevy Cobalt 4-door for $8,000 and have a much cheaper car payment and be right side up on that and have trouble paying for things in other ways. Like, EVs are a great idea that are impractical for regular Americans, because frankly, I don't think they have the money for them.
Yeah,
Two,
yeah. They need to come down in price. And in the particular climate that we're in, because we're still in the middle of pandemic fuckery, like even beyond the pandemic, they were still a high ticket item. They're not exactly Leica money, but it's still like full frame Sony money, like camera wise.
Right.
It's still an expensive kit, you know?
I think reasonably you need to be making comfortably $50K a year give or take, depending on your finances and everything else like that, to be able to do that, or you need to be a multi-income household to be able to pull off an EV. So, or at least a new one.
I think if cities gave a shit and gave like some heavy discounts to people who, because like I think EVs work in cities because they're so dense, and like I think that might make some sense, but I don't know.
I don't think so, because then you need to have charging ports for everything. Where do you charge all of them? Like, my understanding about EVs is that they're designed for the suburbs, because most people who live in a city should be using mass transit to be able to get around. So if you wanted to change buses to electric or hydrogen or liquid propane or what have you, that's a viable option. If you want to have a light rail system that runs on electricity, that makes a lot of sense. But having a city full of EV like cars doesn't necessarily make the problem any easier to solve. Now, I know also there's an issue in Britain where they're talking about this, where the infrastructure doesn't have the ability to charge that many electric cars. It'll just shut the fuck down.
Oh, yeah. Because
now, depending on the
cities,
you need a lot of power. Now, depending on the cities, there are some cities that just don't have the infrastructure for it. Right now, we haven't really, as a society, been paying for infrastructure programs in some time. And we were supposedly with the last administration, focus on infrastructure.
What about Infrastructure Week, Brandon?
What about it? Because frankly, look, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but had that chucklefuck have actually doubled down and genuinely spent a lot of money repairing highways,
do a thing,
and speed,
do a thing. Anything?
I'd be like, that guy's an asshole, but that's a great fucking idea.
Do anything?
At some point along the way, right? Like, at some point along the way, we have to repair the system that we set up in the fucking 50s. You can't expect things to work in perpetuity. Best example of this that I watched recently, one of my favorite YouTube channels, Donut. They covered the thing about the mail trucks. Right? Mail trucks were purchased and sent through a torture test. They contacted multiple manufacturers and they were like, we need a vehicle that can do the following things. It can carry this much load. It's based on this and this. It's based on this and this and this and this. And we need to set it through like a torture test. And they sent them out and basically had them run like, I think it's like 21 days nonstop, where they just didn't turn the fucking thing off, and then ran it over torture tests of like thousands of miles of cobblestone and all sorts of shit like that.
Did they have like a gasoline UV into the tank?
Full on fucking NASCAR pit stop. You just don't turn the car off.
Nice.
Zip it up, pour right in, and the thing just goes. And like mandatory stop and start traffic, where it was like, okay,
that's awesome.
To drive 1,000 feet and come to a complete stop, and then drive again for 1,000 feet and do it for just days on end to torture test these things.
That's awesome.
So there was a joint partnership with, and I might be wrong about this, but hang on, it is with Grumman, which I believe turned into Northrop Grumman.
Yeah.
But this was back when it was just Grumman, back in the 80s, and General Motors. So they ended up putting in the Iron 4 banger that was in a lot of Pontiacs that had a noted issue for catching on fire. So in the past year, something like 44 mail trucks have caught on fire because they have an issue with, like, I think it's a power steering pump reservoir drips directly over top of the battery, and power steering pump fluid is flammable. So just mail trucks are just catching on fire because mail trucks were only designed in the contract to last 20 years. Now, supposedly they were going to fix this problem at year 20. They did not. They then started kicking the can down the road because of Congress. Then at 25 years, they started commissioning everything. Then the pandemic happened. And now there are many mail trucks out there that have been on the road for 30 years.
God damn.
And the big problem is that there aren't many parts manufacturers who are developing parts for the motors and the vehicles. And more importantly, it's hard to find people who actually know how to repair these vehicles.
Yeah, sure.
Because the guys who've been doing it are all starting to retire.
I've done my shit for King and Country. I'm done.
Right. Yeah. So like,
yeah.
But they keep pushing it back. And now they're at a point where I believe they're putting together a plan. And I believe the contract is for something like $14 billion or something like that, to completely redo all of the mail trucks across the country.
And when
it's a big fucking contract.
Yeah, when it would have been cheaper to just fix it after that 20.
Right. Well, I mean, no, they were going to have to spend that money regardless.
Yeah, but like you could have spread it out instead of like now things are blowing up.
And don't get me wrong, this is going to be my gripe about what fucking Congress did to the post office with the motherfucking them about having to pay the pensions up front. That sort of financial sort of thing kicks a lot of things back.
Yeah.
So I think that's what set us back from the 20-year marker, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, the point that I'm really trying to make is the post office set an idea that, hey, we're going to buy these things. We're going to fucking beat them. By the way, funnest part about them, they get 9 miles to the gallon. 9. God, dude. 9.
Fucking lawnmower gets more gallons.
9.
Jesus.
I could genuinely buy every single used 2012 Toyota Prius in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Replace half of them and solve a huge amount of problems with just a fucking graphics budget. And just hand them this and just tell them, you're taking trips, Barry. We're behind anyway.
Yeah.
And we just figure out a way that we just build some plywood. We just kick the tops of the Prius open. We build some plywood sides.
Yeah.
And we just solve the problem. Like...
God damn.
Because I think there's simpler ways to do this.
9.
Anyway, so the point that I'm really making here is we didn't repair the infrastructure here. And the post office is a prime example of what a lot of government agencies believe in thought process, and then in execution it's off. Like, and if you said, hey, we're going to need new ones in 20 years, and then somebody looks over at somebody else and goes, we were 5. Fine. But now we're fucking 15 years past the sell-by date, and we're getting some real fucking problems here.
Yeah.
And I got to ask the question, do you know anyone who was driving when Eisenhower was president? Because I don't even think your parents were.
No.
I don't think your grandparents probably were.
Yeah. Man, my dad drove.
They may have been.
No, my dad drove one of those mail trucks in Sacramento. So like.
Okay. Right.
Them shits is sturdy.
Like, no argument. And please make no mistake, I'm not shitting on the post office. They're going through enough shit. They don't need my fucking guff.
Fucking
and the video, by
man.
the way, is not a dig at the post office. It's a dig at how motherfucked they are, and it's not their fault.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they keep getting dogged on, and like they fucking hold the country together. Like.
Yeah. Anyway, so my point really being is the infrastructure's falling apart, and if our roads were done, when was the last time you remember seeing BGE just pulling wires up and replacing them with new ones when they break?
It's always when they break.
It's always when they break.
It's never preventative. It's never preventative.
There's exactly why, because it would be an incredibly costly venture.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to replace an entire infrastructure and also the construction that would go along with it and what have you.
It would be a tremendous jobs program.
Well, yeah, but also there is a practicality sense of like, what happens when you try and tear up downtown Baltimore, replace all of the cable?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure there's a way to section it off, like section at a time. And if you do it preventatively, it lasts longer in the long run.
Right, but you have to get a private company, or more importantly, a public utility that operates like a private company, to actually agree to the finances of this. And unless you, I don't know, legislatively hold their feet to the fire, they're not going to do it.
But Brandon, we live in a society.
Right, that has rolling blackouts in the summer, so this way people can save money on air conditioning, so this way the system doesn't shut down.
Yeah,
that's how taxed we are in the power system right now. when we have when the summertime months roll around, you're doing budget billing, right?
Yeah.
Part of that is to save money on heating and air conditioning, but part of that is to not tax the system when it's at its strongest. So everybody's running their air conditioner in the summer. Everybody's doing it on a Saturday, like mid-afternoon. It's 96 degrees with 85% humidity in downtown Baltimore. It's a fucking summer day.
Yes.
Now, everyone is also charging their EVs because they're not fucking going anywhere.
Yeah, the grid's gonna die.
I don't know if they can handle this.
The grid's gonna hiccup.
Then it's the practicality sense of how the fuck do we solve the problem of people charging their vehicles on the street? I have street parking where I live. Now I have the ability, if I choose to pay for a parking pad out back, but it's hundreds of feet to get back there. So do I need to pay an electrician thousands of dollars to bury a cable from my house to the back to then set up a charging EV port in the back of my house?
Yeah.
So this way I can use my vehicle? Is the government giving me money toward this? Is this part of the cost of me buying the vehicle?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think for a while there are different government programs giving subsidies to people who are buying electric vehicles. I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't know if those programs are gone now.
I don't know if they are either, but to my understanding, they weren't giving them much for the internal chargers. And depending on where you lived, there's a huge issue of just getting permits to be able to do this. People who are buying Teslas in California have trouble and have to pay thousands just for the permits to have someone come in to then install the supercharger in their house to then save the environment money because everyone's got to wet their beak.
Yeah, shit.
And this is kind of the thing is like, I think until we're all ready to jump in with this thing and until gas becomes so expensive that we have to do something. Like when gas was,
it was super cheap. Yeah.
Right. When gas was $5+ a gallon, everybody was panicking. Everybody was getting out of their SUVs. It's the death of Hummer. It's, all of these gas guzzlers are gone. Now everybody's buying fucking SUVs again.
Yeah.
There's more SUVs sold than anything else. Fucking Ford stopped selling the Focus and the Fusion to just sell fucking SUVs.
Yeah.
Like Ford's like, fuck it. You all aren't buying these. You're buying trucks and sports cars.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a sign that like we're not ready to drive EVs in this country. We have a different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to have an SUV or a big truck or whatever it is. And I can't imagine the group who insist on buying the Toyota Sequoia, the largest of the Toyota, paying, let's say, conservatively $60,000 for something that has incredible off-road ability and is incredibly well built and a great vehicle. And to its credit, more Toyota Sequoias have over 200,000 miles on them than any other vehicle on the road right now. So when you spend the money, you fucking get your money's worth.
Sure.
But you're not buying a fucking EV.
Yeah.
And Toyota's not making a Sequoia in an EV. They're not.
No. Man. Oh man.
They're just not. So we don't handle things. Look at the fucking pandemic.
Yes.
We have to be fucking pushed into shit. Yes. Hey, gas is $26 a gallon.
Yes.
Do you want an EV now?
Yeah. I think you're right.
$30 a gallon. Do you want an EV now?
Yeah. Until we're at the point where we're drinking other people's milkshakes with our straws, I think EVs are way in the future, and it's not because we don't have the technology. It's just because it's not an emergency right now. Like,
it's not an emergency right now. We as an American society especially are bad about adopting to things that we don't understand, and there is some genuine gripes about how do people regular people fucking charge them?
Right.
How do they afford them? Are we really actually gaining anything by digging up a ton of the earth with all of these fucking precious metals to create the batteries that, by the way, we don't really know how to dispose of when they're done?
Nope.
And what happens when a Tesla's batteries die? Do you know how much it costs to replace them? Because I don't.
It's probably more than a Mac battery.
Like, right. We can't turn cars into cell phones and call them disposable items.
Yeah.
Which is my big concern with the idea of this pay for play, like microtransaction idea, and the build quality issue that I have when I've seen everything going on with Elon Musk and Tesla.
Yeah.
So I think until a major manufacturer who gives a shit like Honda is ready to start doing these things, and we start market shifting to more practical vehicles and say, hey, you don't need that SUV. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't. You reasonably, what a lot of us need is a fucking golf cart that'll do 65.
Yeah, hell yeah. I like that.
Like, that's what we need. If we were a society, like, Jamie, if I told you, hey, it's going to be more financially viable for you as a get-around vehicle and what have you, and the government will offer you subsidies to learn how to drive an electric motorcycle.
I would hesitate because I can't ride a bike. So, like, me on a motorcycle would kill me.
What if I said an electric quad?
Yeah, I would do it.
Okay, so a four-wheeler. So if I provided you a single-person vehicle, right?
Yeah.
With relatively low-cost maintenance, right? Each one of the tires replaces $50.
Yep.
It's an electric battery. It replaces in and out like anything else.
Yep.
It's got one electric motor in it. It's got a screen. You can park it right behind your house and plug it in with 110 volts.
Yeah. That sounds great.
It charges overnight in 8 hours. You get 50 miles of range out of the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I will wear a poncho when it gets cold, and I'll have a backpack when I need to haul shit.
Well, no, you've got a four-wheeler, so it's half the size of a car. So it's got a little rack on the back, and we've got some carry luggage.
Yeah.
You can sell accessories.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can pop to the shops.
Yep.
You can go get a guitar. You can go get something to eat. What have you?
Yep.
It's simple, and for two people, it's a practical vehicle. A good part of the year, depending on where you live.
Right.
Right. You still have the ability to turn the thing into a four-wheel drive vehicle if you need to get around somewhere. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've solved this practicality issue, but now we have an issue with safety.
Right.
Because I'm not allowed to drive these things on the road because some jackass needs to feel safe in his 7,000-pound Dodge Ram who won't bother to fucking plug in his four-wheeler because he's got to roll coal every morning and fucking barrel down with his giganto goddamn LED light bar.
Yeah, and the car.
So Captain Small Dick is the reason that I can't just drive a regular vehicle on the road.
Yeah, the car companies have really successfully tied like whatever the American identity is to vehicles. Like, you're not just buying a conveyance. Like, I don't care what the car looks like. It gets me from point A to point B. It has trunk space. I can carry an amp. I can carry a guitar. I can carry Hazel's shit when she gets older and needs to haul shit. That's all I care about. But like, for people who are into cars, the car becomes part of their identity, and they're not willing to give up all of this shit. And I think until that's been a great success of the car companies and ingraining that into the American identity.
Because your car is your way to represent yourself.
Yeah.
It's your external way as you drive by, not just with a bumper sticker, but with a paint job and with an exhaust system and what have you, and you get to feel that sense of freedom and what have you. And we've been doing this since fucking Easy Rider.
Right.
The American dream is the windows down with your hair blowing in the breeze, playing Born to Be Wild, and like that's really where it is. It's like, this is my car. I'm gonna drive. And frankly, like, I remember having a back and forth with a good buddy of mine about EVs and also about ride sharing services. And I was like, I have no fucking interest in riding in a driverless vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust that somebody isn't going to buy it and do the proper maintenance. You want a government mandate every single vehicle on the road? Absolutely every one.
Yeah.
And set up a government mandated ride share program where no one has a car anymore. No one.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't trust you to do your maintenance on your driverless vehicle. Chet. I don't trust you to actually bother to check your tires where you take your hands off the wheel and we let Ghost Elon suddenly take control on the ones and twos, Chet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have control over my car next to you, and I still don't fucking trust you as you snap open the Wall Street Journal or decide to take a fucking siesta in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and I don't know how you
I don't know how, like, I don't know how you uningrain that in the American psyche, because that's deep. That's deep. That's cross culture. That's cross ethnicity. That's cross party. Like, people love their fucking cars.
People love their fucking cars.
People love their fucking car. Like,
yeah,
I don't give a shit about my car. I mean, I don't kick it and I don't drive it into the thing, but like, I could give a fuck. But I know people who love their cars.
You know someone who absolutely loves their car.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of fucking wagons forever. I got the opportunity to get a wagon. I'm now part of multiple fucking wagon Facebook groups where we all joke around about wagon shit.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite one, literally titled Elitist Wagon Jerks. All we do is just post shit about wagons being cool and everyone else wasting their time. A guy with an old Volvo wagon with a fucking stand-up piano sideways loaded into the back of his Volvo, and a video of him closing the door, turning, looking at someone with an F-150 and going, so it wouldn't fit in there? Huh? And then look at his wife or a woman and go, it wouldn't fit in there either, huh? And then stare back at the camera.
Yeah, and I don't know, and until that
I can't help but love that kind of shit.
Yeah,
like,
and you can't change. I think it's part of. It's one of the greatest American success stories is the car industry and what they've done to our collective psyche. And I don't know if you can do. I don't know what you can do to change that. And thus far, the electric vehicles have not been able to get to that level. Like, they're not sexy, they're not fun. Like, the people who drive them are way too into their shit, and like,
well, it's also the practicality thing of, hey Jamie, do you want to take off of work, both you and I'll come get you, right? We'll go leave our masks on, we'll go get rapid COVID tests, we'll guarantee that you and I are both completely safe, and let's drive to San Francisco right now.
Right.
Because you and I could do that.
We could do that.
We could wait a couple of days for that test, or the day for that test.
Yeah.
And then we could cannonball across the country nonstop and be fucking enjoying dumpling 30 in a few days.
Yeah.
Like proper dumpling 30 in a few days.
Yeah.
And I can't do that in an electric vehicle.
No, because you'd have to plot out your route
stops.
where you can plug in, and like where they're set up for that infrastructure.
Right.
And like avoid certain states because I'm Asian, and like
and Jamie, there's some drives that I'd love to be able to do. There's the Elcan Highway, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Elcan Highway is a highway that travels from California all the way up to Alaska. Right?
Wow.
It's one of the most beautiful fucking drives. And there's an area where you can't even get premium gas. You think there's fucking charge stations in fucking Saskatchewan?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
We're not in the future yet.
EVs in Saskatoon.
Yeah.
There ain't no EVs in Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan.
Right. Yeah. And that's the reality of it, is until you start creating practicalities there, and you have to, like, the way that I think you win with the EV market is the following things. You take practical vehicles that are out there every day, like the post office, and you get them to adapt.
Yeah.
You get practical vehicles like UPS and FedEx to practically adopt in how to do things. You try and get the local delivery trucking agencies to start buying into this using government subsidies and everything else like that. You don't unemploy the fucking truck drivers, but you say, hey, are you traveling less than 300 miles a day, but you're doing multiple deliveries in the city, delivering skids of yada, 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 yada. I'm driving from, York, Pennsylvania down into Baltimore, doing multiple deliveries, and then driving back to York, Pennsylvania. Cool. You could totally get one of these vehicles where by the time you get back home, everything's totally fine and you're good, and the thing's running and everything's good, and you plug it in back in the station, and while it's charging overnight, the guys are loading it in overnight, and then the drivers show back up the next day, unhook the things, cool, okay, good to go, swap out, rock and roll. And that's the way that you not only ingratiate you ingrain the idea that EVs are okay, they're acceptable, they're practical, they're useful, you can do these things, but also you start to work out the technologies, the practicalities. Like the fact that your garbage trucks. Most garbage trucks run on liquid propane or natural gas.
Right.
That's why they smell like farts as you drive around. It's not just that they're garbage trucks. They've accepted this and they run them on natural gas.
Nice.
And it's a cheaper, renewable way to do it that is not nearly as tapped because they figured out another way to handle this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that garbage trucks weren't the first people to be like, hey, so not for nothing, if you give us EVs, we'll totally fucking use them because this place is gross enough.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it is getting your big machines out there, the big infrastructure in there, and then we as the dum-dums get used to seeing them around and be like, hey, if it can haul all these motherfuckers, if it can haul all this trash, maybe it can haul my dumb jabroni ass to like college or to like, the Target or the wherever I go when this happens.
When you start to get the practical people, the people who are the FedEx drivers, the truck drivers, the what have you, your salt of the earth types, your delivery people, your long haul truckers, what have you, and you start to not scare them into thinking that they're going to lose their fucking jobs. Because the second that it becomes an electric vehicle, they suddenly think Elon Musk, they suddenly think self-driving vehicles and yada, yada, yada. And that has to fucking stop.
Right.
Because technology becomes scary to people who are afraid of losing their jobs. And rightfully so, because technology is what has destroyed more jobs than anything else. It's not other fucking races. It's not the fucking people coming in from out of town. It's not, it's fucking technology.
Yeah.
It's John Henry Irons versus the machine.
Yeah.
It's like,
but if you tell a delivery driver or a long hauler that we are not replacing you with a robot or like an auto driving thing, we're giving you a new type of vehicle. They can wrap their heads around that.
Why isn't Amazon buying a full fleet of electric delivery vehicles?
Oh yeah.
He's the richest
game
fucking man on the planet.
Game changer.
Fucking give the contract to somebody, develop it, put it together. And if Bezos really wants to fucking change the world, develop a goddamn cheap electric car.
He could sneeze and have it funded tomorrow. He could sneeze and still be worth bajillions.
Change the fucking game. Take $1 billion hit and change the game. You have 192 of them. Maybe if you have 191 and you can change the game. Fuck. Let's say you have 185.
Yeah.
What the fuck can you do with 184?
What are you missing?
192 that you can't do. Right. What are you missing?
That's genuinely. That's more than Leica money.
You can't tell me that you can't pay Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren to dress up in period appropriate garb and have them fight in front of you while you drunkenly sip tequila and sit in the world's largest Hostess cupcake, literally, with Carl Weathers standing next to you doing fucking play-by-play commentary going, that's some funny shit right there. And you could still hang out and have 190 fucking $1.5 billion.
See,
you're telling me 500 million and you couldn't get fucking Sly and Dolph to throw down 5 rounds? The fuck out of here.
You were saying this on an earlier podcast, how like you wish rich people would use their fucking money.
God damn it! That's the perfect one.
Yeah, this is the one. It would be a game changer. It would rehabilitate Amazon's the view of Amazon and the people's. It doesn't matter because they're still making shit tons of money.
No. It would fucking help when it comes to them and the environment at the very least, considering how much fucking money and resources they waste on their fucking packaging.
Yeah. So if your vehicles are electric and people are working, they're still driving, and like you're saving some people. It's just
imagine every single Amazon driver that is underpaid, making under $15 an hour, driving an electric vehicle every day. And whether they resented that job or not, the one thing that they wouldn't be able to say is, "Hey, electric car sucks." It would be, it's no real different.
Yeah,
it's quiet.
It got me to many deliveries. It got me from point A to point B. You got your shit. I didn't add to the fucking smog table.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Mad.
I pick up the truck. I hit the start button.
Yeah,
I go. It's no big deal. I get back to the station. I turn the thing off. It's no problem. Because then also you don't waste money idling or anything else like that. It turns off when you're fucking sitting in the light.
Now I'm fucking mad at Bezos. I didn't give a shit about Bezos, but now I'm fucking mad because like a Billy could fix this. Like,
I don't know reasonably if a Billy could fix this. I think genuinely it would be a $10 billion problem.
Well,
but
a Billy, any of the Billies could help, and he would still have hundreds more of them.
Yeah.
He could buy Leica.
Genuinely
He could
change
buy
the world's
Leica.
idea about this.
Yeah. Fuck. Now I'm mad at him.
So, to answer the question.
Sorry, Vincent.
No. I mean, I think this is kind of what he was looking for.
Yeah. No, this is a good one.
The private electric cars look rad, and I hope that a company like Honda does a great job of leveling the playing field and not doing the microtransactions. And I think lower, I don't want to say lower tier because that's a dig at Honda, and Honda doesn't deserve that.
More affordable
manufacturers
barrier
that are
entry.
known for having a more affordable product line as opposed to a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW or even an Audi versus a Volkswagen or a Honda or a Hyundai or Chevy. Right now, Chevy supposedly has the best EV on the market right now. Like
cool.
I think it's the Bolt that they have right now. They do a practical hatchback version. Apparently, the interface is better than any of the Teslas. The reliability is worlds better than the Teslas. And apparently, regular Chevy dealerships can get parts and service them.
Cool.
So you have the ability to go to any Chevy service department, and they'll direct you like if it's if you're in the middle of fucking nowhere, they'll work out how to actually service your vehicle if you're electric, but like body panels, shit like that,
cool.
replacement parts, you can just go to a Chevy dealership and they use like body parts with other Chevys on their line.
Dude, that's awesome.
So like the headlights from that Spark I think the Spark from their like cheapest vehicle are the same headlights that they use in their EV. So when they break and you need to replace one because you backed into something because your taillights busted, no problem.
Nice.
You take it to the Chevy dealership, you call your insurance company, everything's done. They got the part in stock. It's no big deal. And you handle it like anything else.
That sounds amazing.
And you don't have to do. But this is what I'm saying is you need major manufacturer backing to be able to have this sort of thing, to be able to make it practical for the average person. And so this way we can actually have people who have personal garages or driveways or carports who have the ability to charge right next to their house in a safe environment where the vehicle isn't going to be tampered with in most cases, and be able to do that. So this way, down the road, after you, Jamie, have decided to get an EV because you have a driveway, and Bezos does it, and UPS and FedEx, and I don't know, a couple of, Pitt, Ohio, and a few of the other large,
DHL
distribution companies. DHL, what have you, like they all end up doing it, and the post office ends up doing it, and EVs are everywhere, and we're starting to solve the problems. Then reasonably, I think once gas gets to be $7 or $8 a gallon, and we've been doing all of these things, then your shithead fucking uncle might begrudgingly buy a Dodge Ram fucking hybrid, and we're a step in the right direction.
Yeah, he'll get the hybrid.
Right, he'll get the hybrid.
I can't do EV, but I'll get the hybrid.
Yeah. This fucking big ass Prius piece of shit. I swear to God.
God damn it!
I remember when I used to start my Dodge, and all I heard was freedom and bald eagles, and now I don't hear a fucking thing except my manhood shrinking. That is goddamn day in my life. Those horns on the front, I swear to God, they're smaller. I swear to God, those horns,
them horns are smaller.
And you know why they're smaller? Because it's an EV.
Because of the Democrats.
Have a big horn. Yeah, because these fucking Democrats don't deserve big horns. Because unless you got big horns, you can't make big decisions, baby, holding an apple. Like,
oh shit, man.
I don't know, man. Like, But reasonably, like, I have been a car boy for fucking ever. And I am much more interested at the moment in lowering the power levels of vehicles, because the average fucking car, there's a Toyota Camry with 400 horsepower. I literally was driving down the highway the other day and like got up under it to pass somebody and got cut off by a Camry that had dual exhaust, a fucking TRD package on it and a big wing. And I said out loud, fuck, I can't catch that Camry. And I paused and went, how the fuck did we get to a point where I said, I can't catch that Camry? Like, I have a turbocharged fucking vehicle, Jamie, and I can't catch that Camry.
Camry got too much. Camry got too much English on it.
Yeah, right. Fucking Christ.
Goddamn Camry.
But I think if we decided that the average vehicle really only needs about 115 horsepower and they could be turbocharged and there's 3-cylinder and they end up getting, instead of, getting 30 miles to the gallon right now, they're getting closer to 50 because they're just slower.
Yeah.
Then we'd be totally fine. And we start pricing out super fast vehicles. I know Dodge, and this is a car boy saying this, and it hurts me to say so, but like, I know Dodge just killed its Mopar division, and all of your ridiculous 800 and 900 horsepower vehicles. Like, I think Dodge is making something like a 750 horsepower factory vehicle with a drag package that'll do like 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
Jesus fuck.
Right. And it's like a $70,000 muscle car, and I think they're done making them because there's a new administration in, and they're going to start restricting these things, and they're going to start playing these ways. And I know everybody be like, this bullshit, but frankly, we did this in the 70s too with the oil crisis.
Yeah.
And cars got better, and the Japanese market opened up, and now we're able to get reliable fucking Hondas. Because I guarantee you or someone had a mom or dad who had a super fucking practical Honda Accord. And you know what's the great part about having a Honda Accord? That you're not sitting out front for 25 fucking minutes trying to start your Chevy Capri playing with the fucking choke on the carburetor. You know why? Because the fucking Japanese decided to import a vehicle with fuel injection and change the goddamn world. That's why. Cars have to change, and you have to open them up to a real market, and you have to be able to accept that the years of the super fast cars are gone. And you know what the best part about that is? Car boys like myself still fucking love those classic cars. And hell, we love them even more now because they're precious commodities. There's only but so many of them left. So when you get a hold of one, you take fucking care of it. You repair it. You paint it up. You take it out on a fucking Saturday with other like-minded people and sit in a parking lot and talk about it and rev the engine a little bit and feel like a fucking $1 million when you drive that thing home, because that's your baby. And then Monday to Friday, you get in your smaller engined commuter vehicle, and there's nothing wrong with that. You go to work. We can have both. We can have gas at $7 a gallon and still be able to enjoy these ridiculous vehicles on the weekends, but you need to have a more practical daily. And if your daily needs to be more fun, then you either need to start driving it a little faster or find another way to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, because one of the funnest vehicles I ever drove was a 3-cylinder purple convertible Geo Metro with no radio that had a boom box that sat directly behind me.
Yeah.
I immediately fucking went and got a fucking Pantera tape. I threw it in the deck. I cranked it up, and I proceeded to drive around like I was fucking Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious.
Oh my God.
Revving up on every vehicle I could, and it was fucking perfect. It was gutless. It was slow. It was louder than shit. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. And Jamie, you know how long I drove that car for? 4 hours. And I still, this is fucking 17 years ago, and I still talk about it.
Oh my God.
I drove it for 4 hours, and it's still one of my favorite fucking car experiences ever. You know why? Because it was fucking fun. Because 40 miles an hour felt like 140.
Yeah.
You don't need all of this stuff. You may want it, and that's great. That's reserved for people who just make a bit more than you do.
Yeah.
Enjoy what you got, and we got to start having a different mindset about it. We just fucking do.
Yep.
EVs can happen, but it's got to take more than us, and it's unfair to ask you and I and Vincent and anybody else to fucking put out $40,000 or $50,000 of our money to go buy an EV to not have anywhere to fucking plug the thing in because I don't live in a McMansion with a drive-in garage.
Yeah.
Like, full stop. I'm the guy you want to get on board because if I have a reliable vehicle, I'm going to talk it up. But right now, we don't have the infrastructure. You don't have a product that's reasonable price-wise, and you can't even get the major fucking people who are spending more time on the road than I am to bite.
Yeah.
So how the fuck is it my fault that we're not buying EVs?
Yeah.
Don't put that shit on me.
Yeah. I mean, they got to figure out how to market them better. They got to figure it out.
Right, but I think it also takes the government forcing companies like UPS to fucking jump on board. Ford and Chevy may have an EPA mandate of 50 miles per gallon by 2030. FedEx has till February.
Yeah.
We can't survive.
Make it happen now.
Prove it.
Yeah.
Like, here's what's going to happen. You're never going to be able to deliver to a federal building or pick up a federal letter again.
You'll find a way to make it happen. Yeah.
Because we're going to take the contract money that we would normally send with FedEx and UPS, and we learned it's billions of dollars, and we're going to expand the United States Postal Service with our EV fleet that we're purchasing, and we're going to turn every government communication 100% public.
Yep.
No more FedExes in the White House.
Yep.
No more UPSs in the White House. No
Yep.
more DHLs in the White House.
Yep.
It's United States Postal Service.
USPS, baby. USPS.
That's it. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So suddenly watch these companies magically find a way to get it done.
Oh, we figured it out. They come back 24 hours later. It's so funny. We had this plan.
Like, turns out, weird, silly us. We had a guy, like, I walked back in the office, I was like, Jesus, what am I going to do?
Oh, it's George. George had it.
Yeah, like, I didn't know Dennis was sitting in the back of the room, and he was like, hey, we could use my EV plan that I've been talking about for the last 14 months. And I'm like, fuck, Dennis, where have you been? So anyway, long story short, we promoted Dennis.
We got it. Yeah, we got to figure it out, son.
We're fine. So anyway, so so reasonably, February is a little tight. So if you can push us out 3 years, we're going to be half electric in 3 years. Our more remote areas, though, here's the map, right? Here's how far some of our guys are driving. The technology is not there. So if you're okay with us being, let's say, 70% EV within 10 years, we'll hope that the technology catches up, and hopefully we'll beat that. But if not, and Biden goes, you. Wait, hang on.
You.
Puts aviators on. You. Right.
God, I hope.
Fucking hard. It's not fucking hard.
They could figure it out. They could, if there's a money motivator, they could figure that shit out. That shit out.
Right.
You cut off their money, they'll figure it out tomorrow.
Right.
They'll figure it out yesterday.
Honestly. Right. And here's the thing. If we manage to get them to do it, how many other large countries would get them to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, imagine all of the fucking Scandinavian countries are just like fucking, oh, yeah, no, like, I'm going to slap this fuck with a pickled herring if he doesn't get the job done in 40 minutes. Like,
hey, Eleanor.
That should have happened a long time ago. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like,
why did they get it before us? Fuck.
Right. Yeah. These fucking pork-eating motherfuckers, these doughy fucking flag-waving motherfuckers.
Susan.
Have you had Dutch chocolate?
How did you let this happen?
Swear to God, I'm going to fucking put an umlaut on somebody. I'm going to put 2 dots on somebody. ... That's what's about to happen right now. You're going to be in a lot of pain in a minute, I swear to Christ. That's
no meatballs until you figure this shit out. You ain't getting no meatballs.
I swear to Christ, and hear me say it from sunrise to sunset, I'll shut down every fucking IKEA across the world. I'll shut it down right now. I'll pull the plug.
Oh, man.
You know how I'll do it? I will destroy and recall every one of those little fucking wrenches. Think I can't do it?
They're all bagged and tagged. We have like RFID chips on all of those fucking wrenches.
I have small GPS trackers in every one of those things? I'm sending sweeper cells out right now just to prove it.
Oh, shit. Oh,
now,
man.
I know what you're thinking. There isn't a lot of IKEA furniture in Kentucky. And there really isn't now. Because we went in. We got them all.
Bloop. Bloop.
Yeah. Mr. President, we just got word from the governor that apparently sweeper teams have been running through the state of Kentucky holding lingonberry and threatening people to give them their tiny wrenches.
Oh, lingonberry.
But yeah, like...
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things, and I absolutely hate this mentality as if it is us as the consumer's responsibility to make the change for everybody else.
Yeah.
The large companies, they have the ability to make a change. Why is it they're not changing? Because they're fucking selfish and no one's forcing them. Mm-hmm. So let's force them.
Yep.
Then when they figure out how to make it cheaper, then we'll buy it.
Yeah.
But don't put the onus on me. Don't put the onus. Hell, don't put the onus on somebody who can afford a goddamn Tesla Model S. Just because I can afford a $110,000 EV doesn't mean I should have.
Yeah. All right, Brandon. Well, I think that's going to do it for this edition of Car Talk. Where can people find you?
In our local IKEA, I will be collecting wrenches at the door. I am a sleeper agent for the Scandinavian government. And I know what you're thinking. Scandinavia doesn't really have a government. Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Oh, my God.
Also, you can find me posting selfies with your wrenches on Instagram at that guy Chalmers. There's an umlaut over the A.
Umlaut.
So, yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce that shit.
Chalmers.
Chalmers.
I don't know how umlauts work.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jamie, where can they find you?
If this works, and I did in fact record my end of the audio, you will find this on YouTube. You will find this on Spotify and everywhere else that Podbean distributes podcasts. And you can find me.
Please.
Angry Zen Master on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I will check it as soon as we. All right. So last thing before we leave.
Post it regardless.
Yeah. All right. I will post it regardless. You'll just have Brandon's audio track.
Just me ranting to no one.
Yeah.
In a one-sided conversation. It'll be like hanging out with your grandfather when he's just talking to somebody through the phone. Hey, it's your Aunt Jeannie.
That might be funny as shit. We'll see. All right. Okay. So now I'm gonna hit the intro one, the outro one, and then we sit here and don't talk, and then I won't have to edit this. All right.